Yeah, baby.
Kick on, shoot, jump on the job. Now listen to the jam master as he starts to rock. His name is Jay, and he's on his way to be the best DJ in the US of A.
Buenas noches, YouTube. What's up? It's Classic 1333 coming to you live with another edition of the Raw Review for January 11th, 2010. And today's show is brought to you by two things, two of the most important things in life. Number one, trees. It's a small tree growing in a pot. And number two, Tupperware. You know, good for storing foods and keeping them fresh. Well, maybe Tupperware isn't as important as the trees. You know, trees give you oxygen, so... Anyway, so this is the Raw Review for the week. Overall, wasn't a bad show. Could have been better, but, you know, could have been worse. Probably, you know, average or so, but... Alright, so basically we start the show off with Iron Mike Tyson, as McMahon always says. So, I have a gut feeling McMahon kind of wishes, like, Tyson could have, like, did more with WWE, so he could always have, you know, said, Iron and the baddest man on the planet, the way he says it. So, anyway, Tyson comes out. And, you know, welcomes the show and kind of reminds us of the last time he's been here, which they show a video package of that from 1998 with him and Stone Cold, like, you know, almost fighting each other, duking it out. And then footage from WrestleMania 14 when he gave Shawn Michaels a right hand and knocked him out. So that was like Tyson's little debut for anybody that's new watching this. Like, that's what he did back in 98. So I remember watching that too. I was back, I was 13 years old back in 98. Yeah. So then Sheamus comes out and kind of rips on Tyson, you know, kind of rips on him, like basically saying, like, you know, you're the best man on the planet. It's like, you're a washed up has-been or whatever. And then Tyson makes him flinch, and then Sheamus starts like, you know, I dare you to do that again. And then Randy Orton comes out at this point, and then basically says, you know, he wants to be number one contender and fight Sheamus at the Royal Rumble. And then John Cena comes out, does his thing, and says he's beaten all three of them. And I was kind of confused about that. I was like, what did he beat Tyson at? And then Lawler said something about Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and I was like, oh, okay. That's a hard game. I never could beat that game. Like, I'd get up to like the third fighter in that game, and then that was about it. So, anyway, then Kofi Kingston comes out, and then they're all wondering what he's doing out there. And, you know, he said he's never had a title shot, and he wants to fight for it. And so Tyson goes ahead and makes a triple threat match for tonight. It's going to be Cena versus Orton versus Kofi, triple threat match, and then whoever wins gets to fight Sheamus at the Royal Rumble. So that's our opening promo. So then we have our first match of the night, a first round Divas Tournament matchup. We have good old Pepsi Cola. Don't get Pepsi confused with Pepsid. Pepsid's a histamine 2 antagonist used for prophylactic treatment of peptic ulcer disease. And it can be used for other things like GERD and all that stuff. Anyway, this next matchup, we have Kelly to the Second Power versus Alicia Fox, one-on-one. This match was okay. It was short, you know, typical short Divas matchup. I think it was like 2 minutes long. But it was better than Brie Bella versus Maurice last week. Though I did like that little switcheroo thing that Maurice wound up seeing last week. I thought that was cool. So... But anyway, this matchup had some okay moves in it. Kelly hit like Alicia with a clothesline to the outside. That was pretty cool. And then Kelly hit her with that, you know, tilt-a-whirl spinning head scissor move she does, the one where she's always yelling and screaming or whatever. And then the finish was Kelly went for like her Hurricanrana, and then Alicia countered it to like a nice power bomb and like wound up pinning her. So Alicia Fox advances in the Divas Tournament. So far, Alicia Fox, Maurice, and Gail Kim advanced. I'm guessing Gail Kim advanced on a match on Superstars. I didn't look it up or anything, but that's my guess. Then they said they'll have one more match later on tonight. So, if you heard that sneeze, that was my cat sneezing in the background. Okay, so next we have a Legacy promo, and basically it's Legacy talking about what they did in the Royal Rumble last year, how they were like part of the Final Four. And DiBiase says that he's going to win the Royal Rumble, and Cody's like, oh, really? And DiBiase's like, yeah, I'm going to. So you're thinking there's the dissension between the two of them. I was gonna say distension. Distension's like when your abdomen's like out here, but yeah, you're thinking there's dissension between the two, but then they go to a tag team matchup, which is Legacy versus Mark Henry and Evan Bourne. This was a pretty good tag team matchup. It was a good 5-minute matchup. Most of it was Legacy double teaming Evan Bourne. Like when the referee's view was obstructed during the matchup, Cody threw Evan Bourne against the rail or the railing at one point, or the barricade. Not really a railing, it's a barricade, that black thing on the outside that kind of keeps the fans from coming into the ring. They hit a drop kick on Bourne at one point, and then. Before I go on, why does Cole always say the referee's view is obstructed? Does the referee have, like, a cataract or something? I don't know. He doesn't say, like, the referee is, like, the referee couldn't see, or just something simple, His view's not really obstructed. It's just the fact that he didn't see it, but there wasn't anything actually, like, like a cataract or glaucoma or anything, like, actually blocking his vision, Blocking his blood flow to his eyes. He really needs to correct himself on that. Anyway, going back to the matchup. So, Henry got a tag in from Bourne, and he started cleaning house, and then he had Cody up for a press slam, and then, dropped him down, and then he pulled Cody close to the corner and tagged Bourne in, and Bourne was going to hit the airborne, that shooting star press. And then DiBiase comes in the ring and pulls Cody out of the way a little bit. So then Bourne hits DiBiase in the jaw with a knee and knocks him out of the ring. And then this allowed Cody to go ahead and hit Crossroads, and then Bourne loses, and then Legacy wins the matchup. So, it was a good tag matchup. Oh, and some point before that all went down, DiBiase pulled the rope down, and Henry went over the top rope. In fact, that was before he got hit with the jaw, so if you're curious on the chronological order of that, that's what happened, so... Okay, so next we have a Backstage DX segment, and basically it's Shawn Michaels wants to go make peace with Mike Tyson for Tyson knocking him out of WrestleMania 14, something else that's, he needs to bury the hatchet with or something, and Triple H just kind of disagrees with him on it, and Michaels is like, whatever, I'm going to go do it anyway. So then we have a next Backstage segment with HBK and Mike Tyson, and then Shawn Michaels is like saying that he forgives Mike Tyson for knocking him out at WrestleMania 14. And basically, like, Tyson's like, I really don't need your forgiveness, and I'm happy I did that, and I would do it again tonight. And then Jericho shows up, and then, we're thinking, why is he here? Why is he on the show? And then Jericho says he has a bunch of connections. So if it's not with people, it's internet connections or something. And so Tyson makes a match tonight. It's going to be DX versus Chris Jericho and Mike Tyson. And then if Jericho wins, he gets a free pass to be back on Raw and can go on whatever show he wants for however long he wants. So that's like our main event tonight. And then we have, they show Lawler and Cole excited at ringside. And then I had to correct Lawler on this one because he said, Lawler says that he thought he would never see Mike Tyson compete ever again. Mike Tyson never did compete in WWE. He was just there like a couple of times. So, knocking someone out as a special guest referee and almost getting into a fight with Stone Cold isn't technically competing. So, just had to correct you on that. But thank you for correcting me on the Mike Tyson punch-out thing, because I was confused on that one. So, it's a fair trade-off. So, then they show a recap of the Bret Hart McMahon segment from last week, which overall was a good segment, I thought. But the only thing I didn't like was when McMahon hit Bret Hart like in the nuts, and Bret Hart was like on the ground for just like a minute or so, and then he got back up and was ready to go at it with him or something. Because if you get hit in the groin by, like, I don't care what you get hit in the groin, you take the bottom of this tree, and if someone like chucked it at my groin or something, I would probably be on the ground for like 10 minutes or something, So as far as that whole like selling of that goes, I disagree with that. So okay, the next part of the show we